Why do you always experience emotional breakdowns after 6 months of being in a relationship? Do you know why, around the 6-month mark, you and your partner always seem to argue, and the discussions often lead to the brink of breaking up? This is actually because you have entered the power struggle phase in your intimate relationship. What is the power struggle phase? It's when both of you have different views on the same issue, and both want the decision-making power. You refuse to give in to each other, leading to conflicts. For example, after being together for a while, you may notice many flaws in your partner, such as a bad temper, lack of ambition. You develop the idea of transforming him into someone closer to your ideal. However, he hopes to be himself and comfortable after spending time together. This leads to a struggle over how things should be done. In this process, all conflicts in intimate relationships can be traced back to the issue of power struggle. It boils down to the question of whose voice should be heard, yours or mine? If I yield to you, I feel unjust and want to create some issues. But if you yield to me, you resist and also want to create some issues. At this point, both individuals strive to gain decision-making power, often resorting to tactics such as blame, logical reasoning, silent treatment, threats, and denial. Behind this power struggle is the reflection of each person's attachment and self-esteem needs. The more someone lacks attachment in their childhood, the more they crave their partner to compensate for it. Similarly, if someone's self-esteem is unstable, they may need their partner to submit to them for a sense of self-worth. During the power struggle phase, seemingly harmless matters actually involve testing whether the other person can meet one's needs. Mishandling such situations can lead to a breakup. When both individuals excessively pursue dominance and control in a relationship, conflicts and differences naturally arise. After all, people are independent individuals who do not want to be completely controlled or submit to another person. If you insist on changing him, in his eyes, you become an enemy trying to control him, as it reflects only your desires and not his. While it may seem like you are putting effort into managing your relationship, you are actually nurturing your own narcissism rather than the emotional connection between the two of you. So, how can we avoid the toll of power struggles on relationships? The most effective methods are twofold. First, assess what is more important to both of you, the specific issue at hand or the relationship itself. For instance, if he enjoys playing video games at home on weekends while you prefer shopping, evaluate whether the relationship or shopping is more important to you. If you prioritize the relationship, allow him to play games or join him, rather than insisting on dragging him shopping. If you think shopping is more important, go shopping alone or invite your friends. If you want to shop and have him join you, but he refuses, accept your anger and the fact that you may argue. Healthy relationships sometimes require compromises where you prioritize the relationship or individual interests based on the situation. If the relationship is more important, compromise and support his interests. If the issue at hand is more critical, relinquish the relationship momentarily and pursue your individual goals. Sometimes he may prioritize the relationship, compromising his individual desires to support yours. It's about finding a relative balance in the relationship. When conflicts arise, evaluate what matters more to you, the specific issue or the relationship. If the relationship is more crucial, support his preferences. If the issue matters more, compromise and let him support you. The second point is consciously seeking compensatory rights. Compensatory rights involve gaining rights in another area when one party concedes in a particular domain. In the earlier example, if you chose to prioritize the relationship over shopping and played video games with him, you might feel a bit unbalanced. When these negative emotions accumulate without an outlet, conflicts can escalate. Therefore, seek compensatory rights for yourself. If you spent this week playing games with him, ask him to accompany you shopping next week. If you took care of all the household chores today, have him treat you to a nice dinner tomorrow. If the other person chooses to accommodate you, reciprocate in the same way. This give and take can establish a dynamic balance, reducing conflicts and disagreements. Resolving conflicts does not mean you must change him or blindly compromise. It's about finding a relative balance in the relationship. If your focus is solely on transforming the other person or winning control in the relationship to restrict them, you may ultimately lose the emotional war.